The ethics behind Judge Wargrave's deadly game.
Okay, let's start with a little insight for the viewers who have never read this novel before.
There's a randomly selected group of individuals who are sent to stay on this island. Each person has their own dark backstory, which is then prevailed by an anonymous source. The source starts accusing each guest of being responsible for someone's death, crimes in which were never punished by law. Then, one by one, the guests die under suspicious circumstances. They all try to figure out the person behind it, which leads them all to their death instead. We then find out that the retired judge in the group was the one who made the master plan behind this all along.
Judge Wargrave is a retired judge who obtained a past of 44 years in criminal law. He is seen as an intelligent, calm, and condescending individual whose sense of justice is deeply corrupt. His personal backstory of law and order involves falsifying information to sentence a man to death named Edward Seton. Throughout the novel, he reveals his role as the mastermind behind many murders on the island, which reflects the 10 Little Soldiers rhyme. His calculation and desire for control leads him to executing his twisted plan perfectly. As we've seen Judge Wargrave's senseless actions throughout the narrative, it causes us to raise this important question. Do we think Judge Wargrave's rampage was ethical or unethical?
I believe his rampage was unethical.
No. His rampage was definitely ethical.
Nah. Well, to support my side, Judge Wargrave violates legal principles. For example, he states on page 96, "You know, Barry Claythorne, all my life I've wanted to take life. Yes, to take life. I've had to get what enjoyment I could out of sentencing the guilty to death." Wargrave admits that his job of sentencing criminals to death was more than just a duty. It was a personal thrill without looking at the evidence in the trial. Additionally, he also has psychotic urges. A person who is psychotic has experienced psychosis. It states in an article, individuals may have overwhelming intrusive thoughts related to psychosis, hallucinations, or acting out of their control. As Judge Wargrave states also on page 96, "I've always enjoyed that, but it wasn't enough. I wanted more. I wanted to do it myself with my own hands." He's been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. He found his job to not be as fulfilling as he hoped for, so it's like he waited all his retired years for this master plan to unfold, so he can finally be satisfied with his psychotic tendencies.
Okay. Although I understand your viewpoints on the topic, I see that Wargrave's perception of the individuals on the island was that they all committed crimes that they were all guilty for. Therefore, why should he not punish them for their crimes? I believe that the retribution punishments that Wargrave had settled is that his murders were a way of righting the wrongs that the justice system failed to do for these guilty people. These people try to beat the system. Why should they get away? This is why his actions were an attempt to bring justice to the world that he felt guilty that these people were able to walk away. And therefore, they were ethical.
Okay, but while Wargrave may have seen his actions as ethical based on his creditance, like you stated, they contrast not only the moral idea of fairness, but the rule of law in general, therefore making his rampage unethical.
As we've gathered all this information, we see how Judge Wargrave's obsession with retribution deprives him of making ethical considerations during his rampage. His active vengeance reveals his corruption of legal concept and psychotic longings. Wargrave's desire to be in control and prevail justice for the crimes of others compromises the principles that the legal system is built upon. As a former judge, his unjustifiable means to decide who lives and dies makes him out to be no better than the criminals he is punishing.